Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching this international weather forecast video brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. We're going to take a look at three spots today. We're going to talk about first South America, then move over, discuss some things that are changing across parts of China, and then we'll come back to Europe, Ukraine, and the Russian wheat belt. So we're going to start off here with some Ndvi analysis, and I've shown you this recently here, but let's just take another look. We're going to slide back and forth between this year and last year for data that we had through the end of May. And when you look at this, remember that these colors over here represent very healthy vegetation from space, and down here this is when the plants don't look very healthy at all observed from space. So we're going to watch first here what's going on in southern Brazil. So what you're looking at right now, let's actually zoom in here a little bit. This is the data from last year on the end of May 2020. And as I slide this across, you're going to see very clearly, as I will, look at the colors really getting darker there. So this again is 2020, and here we go into 2021. And this has been the region we've been most concerned about. The drought hit Mato Grosso do Sul through Paraná into Sao Paulo, even parts of Minas Gerais and Goiás pretty hard here back in, what was that? That was March and April and part of May. Now rains have since returned to this area, but it's just an indication of how much damage had already been done. We can use the CHIRPS data, which we've looked at lately, just to kind of get an idea on the 2-month drought severity index. So from April 1st to May 31st, we once again see that it was southern Brazil that really took the majority of the drought issues over the last couple of months. It's actually been shown up as record dry in some places here, and we've certainly heard about some water restrictions as of late. Let's go from there and then take a look at what's expected. Now, we've transitioned into the time of year where the monsoon shuts down, so we will not expect to see much moisture returning to this area until we get into late August, September, October timeframe. So they're going into the dry season, but the crop is still finishing in this part of Mato Grosso over toward Tocantins, Goiás, Bahia, Minas Gerais, these areas, and it's going to finish under very, very dry conditions. Rains are moving into the south, as you can see here. We have frontal boundaries that are stretching farther to the north, and if I get those drawings up there, you can see that they're expecting quite a bit of rainfall in Mato Grosso do Sul, Paraná, Sao Paulo, and south, and even into northern Argentina. But the issue has been that this rain is just too late to allow for a major recovery of the crop, and that's why we've seen such a large and drastic drop in the total production out of this safrinha crop. So that's the latest on South America. Let's go from there and take a look at the same data, but I want to look at it from over in China. So if we look right here, again, CHIRPS data, April 1st through May 31st, this is the drought severity index. And we had been watching very carefully the North China Plain through the Manchurian Plain. It's been very wet to the south, but had some issues here in early spring with climbing up here on the drought side of things. Well, looking forward here, in fact, let's look back really quickly. I'm going to come back here. Let's zoom out and let's just go have a quick look at what's going on in China. The data should fill in there relatively quickly, hopefully. And there it is. And why don't we just take a look at what's going on in these growing areas. So let's look at 2020 first. So the North China Plain here, the Manchurian Plain there. As we go from 2020 into 2021, yeah, I certainly see, it looks as though you can see some of the issues there with last year looking better in some places than this year, although it's not nearly as evident as it was in South America. But remember, the crop is in very early stages, so we'll just keep a close eye on that. Well, we've seen what's going on in this area. Over the next 2 weeks, we do see better rains for this section of China's growing area. So that is an important note to see here. And then down farther to the south of the Yangtze River, where it had been extremely wet, the models are forecasting drier conditions. Okay. Now from there, why don't we just head on over to parts of Russia and Ukraine and then Europe. And I want to show you first, before we have a discussion there, what's been happening for the last 30 days. We've been quite wet through the majority of the Russian wheat belt, getting into this section of Ukraine, and then pockets throughout the rest of Europe have shown up wet as well. But moving forward in the forecast, let's flip over there. Let's use the European mean. And what I would like to do is let's just take a look at that 15-day outlook. So this is going to give us the next 15 days of precip. From the Iberian Peninsula through France into Germany, we're seeing above average precipitation. Same thing here in Italy, and right in this pocket that is going to be to the west of the Black Sea. But a large section here of the Russian wheat belt and the eastern side of Ukraine is expected to continue to be above average in terms of precipitation. And the temperatures are going to start off cool in this area, but recover relatively quickly. So we could say that overall this would be favorable for that section of the world in terms of crop production. So we're going to have to keep just a pretty close eye on how that all transitions moving forward. So we got an idea about what's going on globally. We'll keep you updated here next week. And until then, have a good rest of your week and weekend. I'll talk to you on Monday. Thanks.